I made a whole list and now I don't remember where I saved it on my computer. Computer. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about board games and board gamey things. I'm here today with another video. Nobody is surprised by that. And today, I'm doing a solo video. I had somebody the other day make a comment in the comment section of our $500 board game collection video, asking if I would do one for solo games. So that's what I'm here today to do. I am building a $500 solo board game collection. Now, typically when Jeff and I do these videos together, it's a bit of a competition, but it's just me. So I'm going to win this competition. So here's what we're doing today. I have picked out a list of games that if I were starting my solo board game collection from scratch, these are the games that I would get based on the restraints of only having $500. So let's talk about the $500. Number one, it's $500 Canadian because I am a Canadian. So that's what I'm going by. If you are in the US, you're probably going to be able to get some of this stuff for cheaper. If you're in the UK, it might be a little bit more expensive. It's all going to depend on where you are, but I am using Canadian prices and I have used one website, and that website is Board Game Bliss. For anybody that doesn't know, we do have an affiliate link to Board Game Bliss. You get like free shipping off of a certain amount that you spend, and then we get a little bit of a kickback commission. So if you're already shopping on Board Game Bliss, please use our link. It's helpful. The link is in the description below. It's always down there. Next thing is that I've pulled the prices. There's not going to be any taxes added and no shipping because with $500 you get free shipping anyway, so we're not going to worry about that. And if something was sold out, I didn't leave it off of my list because it can always come back in stock. But just know there are a few games on this list that are currently sold out, but Board Game Bliss is literally constantly adding to their stock, so I'm not too worried about it. There was one game that I did leave off that is out of stock because it has been out of stock, and every time I bring up this game, everybody gets really mad because they can't find it. So just so you know, For Northwood will not be on this list, even though if you can find it, it should be in your solo collection because it's just that good. Okay, so I have a list of games. I tried to pick a variety, but I also, I'm making this list for myself. These are the games that I would want that I think would be a nice rounded collection. So without further ado, I say we get into it because I'm currently waiting for my DoorDash order. So hopefully it doesn't arrive before we get here. I'm thinking should I add a coffee? Or should I just wait and get a coffee later? I'll wait and get a coffee later. All right, the first game on this list is going to come as no surprise to anyone, and I do have to say I could have just filled this list with a million of these games and we would have had a very large collection, but I didn't. I picked one Button Shy game. So on Board Game Bliss, you can get Button Shy games for $15.95. However, they don't come in the wallet, okay? That's the one downfall, but it's fine. You're still getting the game, but they don't come with the wallet. So of all of the solo Button Shy games, I have obviously picked Numbsters. You guys have heard me talk about it a billion times. It is my favorite solo Button Shy game. Numbsters is just an 18-card game. It's a Button Shy game where you are playing off of the joke 7, 8, 9, and you have the number 8 that is in between different numbers where smaller numbers are eating larger numbers, and the whole goal is to get your stack down to 2 cards where 8 is on the bottom and another number is on the top. Sounds simple enough, very hard to win. It is so great. You could play it in your hand, you could take it with you anywhere that you go, throw it in your bag. I take this when I travel. It's almost always with me. I love it. I couldn't imagine a collection without this, and I just think you need a simple, quick card style game that you could take around with you. And this is going to be the one. So that is Numbsters, $15.95. Also, I will mention, I did come in slightly under $500, and I was looking for something that I could fit in for that last like $565. Couldn't find anything. So I'm sure if I went somewhere else, I could find a deck of cards, but just know I did really good and I came under budget, which doesn't always happen. The next game on the list, once again, I feel like some of these you're going to be like, yeah, obviously this is on your list. So let's get this obvious one out of the way. And that is going to be Final Girl. And we're going to go with the Final Girl starter set in particular. For anybody that doesn't know, Final Girl, you need the core box and then any feature film. So that's 2 pieces, but you can get the core box with Camp Happy Trails, which is kind of like the OG Final Girl feature film, as a set, as a starter set for slightly cheaper than buying 2 other things. If you're just starting out, this is the way I recommend to start it. If I were starting my Final Girl collection, maybe this is how it would go. So the Final Girl starter set is $39.95. And like I said, it comes with the core box, and then it comes with 1 feature film, which is Camp Happy Trails. If you don't know, Final Girl solo only board game, I have it literally set up in front of me right now because I'm about to stream it. If you didn't know, okay, here's how you're going to spend your last $5. Go to the Van Ryder Games website and buy my card. I'm a Final Girl. Anyways, you are playing as a Final Girl horror movie trope in some various situation depending on which feature film you are playing. And your goal is to kill the killer before they kill you. It's got hand management, it's got dice rolling. It's extremely thematic in that you have no idea what could possibly happen and you will die in the funniest ways. All of the feature films are mix and match. It's fantastic. Right now I'm set up to play the Eyeless as my killer with Megan as my Final Girl at the USS Conrad. So I'm sending the Eyeless to space. You can make all of these different combos. I just couldn't have a solo board game collection or just any board game collection without Final Girl. So $39.95, we have Final Girl. If you haven't tried it yet, you definitely should. The next one is a relatively new to me game that I have quickly become obsessed with. I have a full solo mode video playthrough of this on the Board Game Geek YouTube page if you're interested in seeing how it works. But that is going to be The Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship. I know what you're thinking, but Jamie, you hated Pandemic. Yes. But this is Lord of the Rings. It's set in the Pandemic system. It kind of uses the same system, and it's just incredible. It's an incredible game. I have played it solo multiple times. It is challenging, but like you always get so close that you feel like, oh, I can get it next time. How this game works, and I'm going to be speaking of a solo game in particular, is you're going to be playing with 5 different characters. 4 of those are going to be selected from the variety of characters that the game gives you. One of them will always be Frodo and Sam. You have one main objective, and that is, of course, to throw the One Ring into the fires of Mount Doom while surviving a search. But you have to complete 3 other objectives before you could do your final objective. You are doing that by traveling across the map and fighting orcs and trading cards and being sneaky, and bad things are going to be coming up and orcs are moving and there's combat happening and all of the different characters have different special abilities. It's insanely thematic. So if you are at all a fan of Lord of the Rings, this is like a must try. It is $64.95, so I am spending a little bit more on this one, but to me, it's worth it. I've played it a bunch now, and every time has been a totally different experience. There's so many cards that you could get through and not get this time, but get next time, and different objectives and different characters. I'm obsessed with it. This is quickly becoming one of my new favorite games. So I would like to have it in my collection, and I just want a Lord of the Rings game, because why wouldn't I? Everybody's got to have a little Middle Earth in their life, you know what I mean? The next one is also a relatively new to me game, but I wanted something that was kind of different. This is a solo like boss battle, very unique kind of game. It's Unstoppable from Renegade Games. It's coming in at $59.95. In this game, you are playing as a particular faction, and you are essentially going through many rounds to overcome a boss. This is all happening in space. What's really cool about this game is it's a card crafting game from Sir John D. Clare. We love it. And with card crafting comes an insane amount of variability. And so any card that you get, on the back of it is going to be a bad guy that you potentially have to overcome. And then you can slip it in a sleeve and it's going to have all of your abilities. There's a bunch of different factions and cards that kind of work together, ones that don't work together. So there's a deck building element. And then with the card crafting, you can upgrade your cards. It's just a really cool, unique experience. And there's a bunch of different bosses that you could fight, lots of different factions. There's expansions. I plan to do my solo mode video for Board Game Geek this month in September on Unstoppable. So I'll have something for you to watch soon, but I just like instantly fell in love with this. And it's no surprise because John D. Clare is great. It is a little bit more expensive, but once again, there's just a lot of variability in this box, and so I think it's worth it. All right, next one, of course, I need a puzzly game. I couldn't have my solo collection without a little bit of puzzling and without some cats. That is going to be Calico from Flat Out Games. This is $43.95. I love Calico. I think it's one of my favorite solo experiences that is a puzzle. I feel like this is like a totally different vibe than anything else that I've already mentioned, where they're a bit more like, not complex, but there's more going on. There's more to think about. There's more to manage. Whereas this one, it's like, this is my little quilt puzzle. I'm trying to go through these different challenges. I'm just trying to make the cats happy, building patterns. It's very relaxing and yet stressful at the same time, which I think is a perfect balance for a solo game, and very challenging. That's one thing. All of these games are challenging because that's what you need in a solo game. But this one is going to be kind of like some cozy cat vibes. And I think I already mentioned, but it's $43.95. So I have to have Calico in any collection I have, but specifically in my solo collection. Okay, next up is going to be just my very chill, very cozy, slow, like activity style game. And that is going to be Gentle Rain, coming in at $19.99. I am choosing the small box version versus the larger box version. I prefer the small box. I have both of them. And so I think the other one's like $19.95. I just like the little one because it's easy to take with you everywhere, and I just like it. So in Gentle Rain, this is from Incredible Dream, you are building out kind of like a little pond. And what you're trying to do, it's also kind of like a puzzle. You're trying to match different flowers on each edge. Once you do that on all four sides, and you're going to create like a little hole, and you're going to put a little flower in it that matches one of the colors of the flowers that you've built in that pattern. Sounds simple enough, but how the tiles come out, it's actually not that simple to close off circles. And this is just the kind of game that you could just have a tea or a coffee, you lay it out on the table, you just kind of play. It's meant to be more of like a mindfulness activity. The other day, I was waiting for Jeff to film because he had something to do, and I just pulled it out on the floor and just sat there and played. It takes no time at all. You can win, you're trying to score points, but like you don't need to play that way. You could just kind of be like, let's see how I do today. I really like it. I love having it in my collection. I do enjoy traveling with it, and it's $19.99 and it's beautiful. So that's the next one. Next up, we have a classic for me. I have to have this in my collection. I don't know what it is about this game, but I love it. Oh, and I will mention, I do have a solo mode on Gentle Rain as well as this one I'm about to talk about, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I like to do solo modes on games that I enjoy. But this game is going to be Horrified. And I'm going with the classic Universal Monsters version, the OG. I just think I love this game. I've loved this game since it first came out. Jeff's not a big fan of it. And so I don't play it cooperatively a lot. I actually play it more solo. And it's just another kind of, I feel like it's a bit of an adventure where you're overcoming different, ooh, my food's here. I got Meza. Meza is I think it's like a Nova Scotia only Lebanese place that's kind of like Subway, but better. Anyways, that'll be my special treat when I'm done this video. Yeah, you're overcoming different universal monsters. It's fun, it's thematic, it's kind of great for spooky season, it's challenging, and there's lots of variety because there's different monsters to choose in the original set, but then there's like 3 or 4 more horrifieds that you can get, and I believe you can mix and match all of them. So I love it. I think it's great, and I also do think it's good to have games in your collection that could be played solo and then cooperatively. Because what if you make friends? What if? Who knows? Next up, another game that I did a solo mode on. And this game to me is just really unique and really fun and challenging in a way that I've just really enjoyed. And that's going to be Kinfire Delve. It's also a smaller box game, and there's multiple versions of Kinfire Delve. I'm just going to go with the OG one, but pick your poison. They all play the same. It's all about the characters that come in each set, and then I think you can just mix and match them. So in Kinfire Delve, what you're trying to do is you're delving through a deck of cards by overcoming different things that pop out of the deck, basically. There's going to be cards around. You're using your hero to overcome them, your seeker. You've got your own cards that you're going to be using, and just as an example, like if a red card comes out, well then you need to be able to attack or whatever with red cards. And then you can like help support things, and it's great. It's very challenging. There's going to be a big boss that comes out at the end. That's kind of the whole point of delving through the deck, and I love it. I just think it's a great challenge. It's super fun. It's like crunchy for a small box, and I'm into it, and I also just enjoy the Kinfire world in general. And that's $24.99, which there's a lot of game in that little box. Then, of course, another favorite, another one I did a solo mode on, another one that it has to be in my collection no matter what collection I'm making. It's Marvel Champions, $73.95. This is the most expensive game on my list, and I think it's totally worth it. I am recommending you get this box in particular. It's kind of like the starter box. It comes with a bunch of your favorite Marvel characters. And what I also love about Marvel Champions, like this $500 is your starter collection. You're just starting with this. That sucker, you could just build on, just buy character pack after character pack after character pack, which is what I have done. I have so many, and I love it. Marvel Champions, you've got a baddie to overcome. How I play it, I typically do play it one-handed, so I play with one character, but you could play it two-handed with 2 characters. You are attacking and you're thwarting and you're defending, and events are happening and bad guys are popping out and minions are coming out, and it's like Marvel in a box. It's super fun, very challenging, a ton of variability, and I love Marvel, and this game has just always been one that's been a top tier game for me, so it's got to be in my list. Then we have a solo only game from my friend David Thompson, and that is going to be Witchcraft. Now, Witchcraft is just super unique. Another one, very challenging. I think most of these, very challenging. In Witchcraft, you are playing as a coven of witches, and there's, once again, so much variety. You're going to pick like however many witches are going to be coming up. And then what you're doing is you are trying to convince a jury to believe you. And you're going to be doing that by playing out different witches that are going to be triggering different things, trying to overcome certain, bad guys or events or whatever. And you're just going through this. You're going to be using, like, all of the witches are basically dual purpose. So this one, if you want to use it and get her really strong ability, then you're going to have to like basically exile her. Or you can use her slightly weaker ability to help you overcome the challenge that's in front of you. Some of the witches are part of the same family, so they'll have like the same last name, and when they're played together, you're going to get some kind of a bonus. It is a little bit of like a combo puzzle that you're working with. And it's really difficult because the challenges just kind of like start heaping up and overwhelming you. I love the theme. It's great for spooky season. The gameplay is super fun. It's $19.95. And I will mention you could either get this one or you can get Resist. Resist is focused on war versus witchcraft, which is focused on obviously like the Salem witch trials. And so I prefer the witchcraft theme over the war theme, but they're essentially some differences, but they're basically the same game. So you could choose which one you prefer. Then I have Harmonies. I love Harmonies. I have a solo mode on this one too. I think Harmonies is so great. Another like brain burny puzzle where you are trying to build out different habitats to attract different animals, and then you're trying to fulfill those animal cards. And then at the end of the game, you're scoring for all of the animals that you've been able to kind of fulfill what they're looking for. And then you're also scoring for all of the different terrain types. It's just a straight up puzzle optimization game. It's beautiful, nice like wood, chunky discs. And I just think it's great. I have so much fun playing this solo and with other people, and it's on Board Game Arena if you are so interested. And this one's $35.95. I've also played a giant version of it, like giant. It was great. And last but not least, the last game that I'm going to put in my $500 collection, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I wanted a dice game, and this is a game that we got when we first got into the hobby, and I still love it. I still think it's great. And That's Pretty Clever, Gosh on Clever. It's $27.95. This is a straight up, like it's a roll and write dice chucking game where you are just trying to score as many points as possible. It is insanely combo-y, but not in an overwhelming way, like not in like a Three Sisters or Hadrian's Wall kind of way. It's so simple. You just roll your dice, you pick color, one of the dice, and then you're gonna put that number, whatever, you're gonna do whatever it says on the sheet. And then you put that away. You're going to get 2 more dice. They have to be higher than that when you re-roll them. And anyways, it's excellent. This is one that I used to always take traveling because it's so great to play on a plane. And now there is an app, but I prefer the physical version. But there is an app if you need it. And you're just trying to get over like 200 points. That's not the goal, but it's like that's like a badge of honor. And it's great. It's just so fun. It's fun to chuck dice, and I love it. It's a classic. So can't remember if I already said, but it's $27.95, and that is going to be the last game that pops up on my list. I did have, when I first made the list, I was like, oh, I could totally fit all of these games. It was like $850, so I had to get rid of a bunch of them. But I did leave 2 on as honorable mentions. Dwarf Romantic, which is $43.95. I would, like, if you're not into maybe Calico or Harmonies, this is one that I would swap in. And then Micro Macro Crime City at $42.95 was another one that I ended up taking off my list. This is just like a fun, big, like murder mystery activity that I think is great, but it didn't quite make it on. And then the other one is The Search for Lost Species if you are looking for a deduction style game. I love that game. That one was the hardest one for me to take off of this list. It was really hard. But my friends, that is my $500 solo board game collection. If I had to start from scratch, lost the board games on a walk. This happens to me all the time. I would love to know in the comments below, what solo games would you have to have in your solo collection? And if there's any on the list that you're like, oh, I can't believe this one didn't make it, or that this one's on, just let us know in the comments. I'd love to know. But that's everything that I have for you today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, like any of the board games I talked about today, you should first start by checking at your friendly local gaming store. And for us, it's a Boardroom Game Cafe. And if you're looking to see how many of these games play, I have solo mode videos for many of them on the Board Game Geek channel. I put out a solo playthrough video every month, so definitely go check those out. I'll link some of these below if I remember. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. And now I say goodbye. Goodbye.